Hello folks, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'd like to talk to you about some of the things that I cannot do as a body piercer. This one is inspired by some wonderful interactions in my comment section recently, and also my apprentice's struggles with things he did not think about that would affect his life as a piercer. So let's talk about some things that you might not think about, some things that clients may not realize. 5 things that I cannot do as a body piercer. And starting off strong with rule number 1, my hair. This is a no-no. Hold on. All right, there we go. Much better. I cannot wear my hair down as a piercer. And I also cannot have it cut in a way where my little short front bits here that make up my bangs would hang down past about the midsection of my face. And this is because hair is a huge cross-contamination risk as a piercer, and also probably one of my biggest pet peeves that I see when I see videos of people piercing online. Either people with their hair all of the way down, or people with their hair up, but they still have a cute couple little like styly, like fringy bits sticking out of their hair like this. This is still long enough that if I'm leaning over someone and working on them, this hair can touch my glove and it can cross-contaminate. Our hair carries bacteria, it carries dead skin cells, it carries dirt and debris, hairs fall off of our head. All of that stuff could fall on your setup, on your tray, on your client. Your hair could just like touch your glove while you're leaning over, and that could introduce bacteria to your glove, which then introduces bacteria to the site of the piercing. Hair down is a super big infection risk. And I really do mean any hair that comes past here. So my apprentice has short-ish hair, but it's just long enough that when he's leaning forward, it's able to contact his gloves. So he has to figure out pulling it back. But it's not long enough to put back in a normal ponytail. So he has to wear a ponytail, a clip, and a hairband at work in order to pierce safely. That's been a really big struggle for him because he doesn't feel super confident in how he looks with a hairband on and all of his hair pulled back like this. And I'll be honest, it's definitely a little awkward right now because his hair is at that like in between length where it does not pull back nicely. And it's been a really big struggle. And I know that other people struggle with it because if I had $1 for every time I scrolled on TikTok and saw someone, usually femme presenting, who looks beautiful, who's in a really beautiful outfit with their hair done really nicely and it's partially pulled up, but there's still little wispies or dreads or bits hanging down, that's not safe. That is not safe. You are cross-contaminating. It is extremely dangerous. But obviously hair is a big part of self-expression and like how we feel about ourselves. And it can be hard to go to work every day not loving how we look. I'm gonna be so for real. I don't love how I look with my hair pulled up right now on camera. But it's not about how we look. It's about what is safest for our clients. And the risk for our hair to introduce bacteria into a setup or into a piercing is really serious. So as a piercer, we gotta have our hair tied back. Fun fact, this also includes beard nets. If your piercer's beard is past a certain size, they should be piercing in a beard net. My favorite example of this is Ryan Owlett teaching his safe practices in the piercing room class with a big beard net on. And again, obviously we're not like, beard nets are not the hot new accessory. Most of us don't feel really cool in a beard net, but you can't do it while you're a piercer. Second thing I can't do as a piercer is also wear the shirt that I'm wearing right now, at least not in the way I'm wearing it. I've gotta have my sleeves rolled up to my elbow, and I have to have nothing on my fingers or wrists. This is another bacteria cross-contamination concern. Anything that is close enough to come in contact with our gloves or contact with the skin directly under the gloves also risks spreading bacteria in the same way as our hair. This does in fact mean that every time you see a video of someone on TikTok or Instagram with a watch or a ring or a hair tie or a bracelet under their gloves, gross. Gross, yucky, dirty, we do not like, we do not do. We do not want to support people who do. That is a really bad thing. And this is like very clinically proven through studies of like hand washing and bacteria in medicine. There's actually like a lot of studies on it because it seems like doctors and nurses also desperate to be able to wear wedding rings at work, which I totally understand. And there's some studies now about, I think like a polymer that you can use as like a wedding ring that is like antibacterial. I don't know enough about the efficacy of it to say like if that is a safe alternative. And me personally, there's just so much documentation about the fact that wearing rings and bracelets and long sleeves increases the risk of infection that I don't think it's worth it. But yes, as a piercer, I cannot wear long sleeves. I cannot wear bracelets. I cannot wear rings. I cannot do any of those things while I'm piercing. Sure, I could take a ring on and off all day. That's going to be way too much work. I should have thought about that hand gesture there. Good on me, Lynn. Definitely gonna have all of the advertisers on YouTube stoked with this one. But yeah, it's just too much of a hassle. So I can't do that either as a piercer. If you're starting to see a trend that a lot of this has to do with cross-contamination and health and safety, you are correct, because the third thing I can't do as a piercer is have nail polish or fake nails. Now, if you've been following me for an extremely long time, pre-YouTube days, you know that when I worked in Florida, I did keep my nails polished all of the time, and that is how I acutely know that it is absolutely not worth it. So when it comes to nail polish and acrylics and gels, they can create little spaces where bacteria can be harbored on the nails. All it takes is like the tiniest chip or crack in the polish or in the gel for that to be the case. So when I was keeping my nails polished when I worked in Florida, I was painting and touching up my nails at home usually every other day to every 3 days. And in order to make sure that it was truly bacteria proof, every couple of days I would have to remove polish on the nail that had a chip or like a spot, and then completely repolish that nail. And it was a lot of work. I probably spent like 2 hours a week on average, I would say, just polishing and maintaining my nails. And even when I went to try gels, I actually think that was harder, because then if I did have a gel like chip or start to peel up, I had to get an emergency appointment with my nail girl to get the gel touched up, or keep the supplies to have the gel touched up at home. And it's simply more work than I can manage. There are piercers out there who have polished nails and do it safely. My wonderful peer in Wisconsin, Paige Amber, has like the most gorgeous nails all of the time, but she does them herself. So that way when something happens in her gel or in her polish, she can do a touch up right there. And she's so cool. She has a whole nail kit in her studio. So if she needs to do a touch up on the fly during the workday, she can. I absolutely admire her dedication to her craft, to the lifestyle, to being that girl. I just don't got it in me anymore. So I keep my nails unpolished. Also, your nails become an incredibly important tool for you as a piercer. I use my nails all the time when I'm like opening and closing little seam rings and getting like tight little threadless ends off. So my nails need to always be a very consistent length and strength to be able to work with them like this. And for those of you out there who are like, I have weak nails, maybe I could never be a piercer. I take a lot of vitamins for nail growths. I have a whole video here, I think, on YouTube about like hand and nail maintenance for piercers. I do still spend probably about an hour a week maintaining my nails and my hands and keeping them healthy and able to do my work. But it plays a really big impact, bigger than you might expect. And especially like longer fake nails and acrylics, really unsafe when it comes to like the risks of bacteria being trapped underneath them. So another thing I can't do as a piercer, have really cute nails. And then the long ones just break your gloves. So I have plain, boring nails unless I am going on vacation or have a very special event to go to. And maybe one of these days I'll take a non-working vacation so I can actually get a set of acrylics put on. Nothing would make me happier, but I don't know when in my life I'll have the time for that, so we'll see. Following this same trend, the fourth thing that I cannot do as a piercer is wear open-toed or open-back shoes. No flip-flops, no Tevas, no Crocs, no flats that have like a wider cutout on the top, no sneakers that are really low cut. I have to wear a fully enclosed shoe. First of all, I don't think you want to get pierced with my dogs out barking at you. I don't think most people want to see that. But secondly, it is a bacteria and hygiene risk. What if like bacteria from our feet or things like that like get in the areas where we're working? But it's actually first and foremost a needle stick and cross-contamination risk for the piercer. God forbid we're working and I happen to drop a needle and I have an open toe shoe or an open top shoe, that thing is going right through my sock into my foot. Or if I'm wearing, let's say, flip-flops, it's just going right into my foot. So a completely enclosed closed toe shoe is really essential for us to be working safely. And you might think that this sounds like an extreme requirement when it comes to dress code. But when I was piercing in Florida, the tattoo artist in the booth next to where the piercing booth was tattooing a really good regular. It was the end of the night. He was wearing sandals with socks, but still sandals. And he dropped his machine accidentally, and the machine, while still running, fell and landed in the top of his foot. Fortunately, he was tattooing a really good regular who was like, you don't have to worry about any bloodborne pathogens from me. Like, I've been tested recently. I'm comfortable giving you my test results. He did still have to go to the hospital for like an infection panel and to follow all of the laws and the regulations concerning like a needle stick like that at work. But I witnessed it happen. I was there. I've never seen it since, but that doesn't mean that I'm gonna wear open-toed shoes and take that risk, because I swear to God, like the one day I do is gonna be the day I'm gonna drop something on myself. Also, there can be other risks, like, you know, we're poking holes in people, people do bleed, blood could get on your foot or on your skin. Just so many different risks with cross-contamination. So it's not worth it. Closed-toed shoes, for sure, fully enclosed shoes, boots, whatever the case may be. Put the puppies away at work if you want to be a body piercer. And the last thing that I cannot do as a piercer is wear a lot of my ear weights and jewelry at work, which you might think like, isn't the whole benefit of being a piercer being able to wear your cool jewelry at work? And I can wear my cool plugs. I could wear my cool tiny weights like this, but I have a bunch of really big, long and decorative and dangly weights that, just like my hair, I can't wear at work because they would dangle and fall and hit my setup or hit my client. And because I work so much, a lot of those weights in my collection, unfortunately, don't get the love that they deserve, because I actually think someone who didn't work as a piercer would probably have the opportunity to wear them more often, because depending on what they do at work, they could wear them at work. And it is an interesting catch-22. As a piercer, I'm like uniquely positioned to have access to and own and enjoy these weights. And I'm also uniquely positioned to never be able to wear them unless it is my day off, because so many of my favorite weights in my collection are just too long that if I had like a nipple or a navel piercing on the schedule, there's absolutely no way that could happen. Although very occasionally I look at my schedule and I'm lucky and it's like all ear stuff that day. And I'm like, okay, I can wear like a slightly bigger pair of weights because I'm not gonna need to like lean over someone in the same way. But yeah, there are so many more like wardrobe and physicality restrictions to working safely as a piercer than the average person expects. It's been really interesting watching my apprentice be like, oh, I really have to figure out like what shoes I can wear to work and what shoes are comfortable for me to work in that are fully enclosed and like meet all of these standards. Hair pulling back has been a huge struggle for him. And he is like dedicated on the path of growing his hair out enough to be able to do like a proper bun or pony, because he's so over the headband. And these are all things that you might not think about if you are interested in becoming a body piercer, especially if you look online and you see a lot of people piercing with their hair down and long polished nails and watches and bracelets on. Yucky, we do not like that. Big red flag. But yeah, we really want to put the health and safety of our clients as the first and foremost. Hygiene needs to be super important to us as a piercer. So that means hair up, nothing around the neck that's long, no super long ear weights, no rings, no watches, no bracelets, no nothing, and no long sleeve shirts over my forearms, and no open-toed shoes. It's a lot to keep up on. It's definitely a sacrifice to my personal fashion and how I would like to present at work, but it's worth it to keep all of my clients safe and to keep doing healthy, safe, clean piercings. Thanks so much for hanging out today, and I can't wait to sit down and chat with y'all again soon. Bye.